this summit is largely for factory-related efficiencies. That how can we reduce steam consumption, how can we reduce power consumption, how can we reduce water consumption in process, how can we minimize waste in our manufacturing process. So this is the basic objective, that how can we improve our resource use efficiency, and here so many technology providers showcase their technology, and industry professionals come over here and discuss that what can be adopted to improve the efficiency. This is the basic objective of this summit. And due to these conferences and seminars, the efficiencies level have improved significantly over last few years. Now coming to sustainable sugarcane production, because that is also equally important. Here, industry bodies like Indian Sugar Mills Association, along with the respective state governments and central governments, are working in this direction. And the basic thrust is on three factors. One, how can we improve mechanization in agriculture, because labor scarcity is there? How can we improve water resource use efficiency by drip irrigation, micro irrigation? That is the second thrust area. And third, how can we introduce better varieties of sugarcane so that those are high yielder and farmers' income is also improved. So with these combined efforts, we are quite hopeful that sustainable sugarcane production will be achieved in times to come. And one more this thing, just to supplement what Gaurav has mentioned. Previously, about 30 years back, sugar factories used to produce sugar only. Later on, sugar industry started producing power out of cogeneration. And it is clean power. It is not fossil power. And then now, since last about 10-12 years, ethanol production has also increased significantly. Right now, about in our total petrol basket, about 13-14% blending is being achieved of ethanol, which is produced out of sugar-based feedstock. So this is a great achievement, and due to this is a cleaner fuel, and this is supporting the income of the farmers, and of course it is saving the foreign exchange as well. This is a wonderful program, and this is helping the nation as a whole.
Paper industry growth, as Mr. Ganesh was saying, it's around 6 to 7%, and globally it's around 3 to 4%. And actually, it could have been much better and higher. Just because of the COVID scenario, and after COVID scenario, there are a lot of geopolitical tensions and issues, due to which, the last 3 years we have been going through a lot of, supply chain and logistic issues and raw material availability issues, and all these things are, putting a strain on the paper industry. And that's the reason the growth is 6 to 7. Otherwise, it could have been comfortably 10 to 12% of growth for the paper and the packaging board segment in the country. That's how it was growing before COVID. Paper was growing at almost 7 to 8%, and packaging board was growing at 10 to 12%. Now, suddenly we dropped by 30 to 40% or beyond. It is just because of the geopolitical scenarios prevailing in the globe. So the point number 2 is this particular Paper Tech conference, the central theme is making the Indian pulp and paper industry world class. Because unfortunately the paper industry is associated with the kind of the image, they are cutting trees or things like that, polluting industry or something like that, which is totally a myth. It is not so. When you talk about, we talk about the raw material, as rightly it was put that 75%, 60 to 75% of the raw material coming from the secondary fiber. This is the waste paper. And only 25% of the production is from the wood-based industry. And even in that wood-based industry, people should remember that when we harvest, we don't cut trees, we harvest trees. The way you harvest paddy, the way you harvest wheat, we harvest trees. One tree is harvested and we plant 4 trees. That is how the green cover is maintained. And second thing, people should always understand that paper industry is making the country green. And paper industry does not touch any conserved forest, or paper industry does not touch any identified forest cover of the country.